Hello, hello, and welcome to Season 6, Episode 9 of the Otafest podcast.
Oh my god.
I'm Angelo, and tonight we're joined by Jay and Nancy.
I'm Jay and Nancy.
And then we have Nancy and Jay.
Hi. I never thought I'd get to use my real name, but it's me, Nancy and Jay.
Did I hear that this is Season 6, Episode 9? Nice.
Nice.
I heard it. I heard it was the late night edition.
It is the late night edition.
It is very late night. This was the only time of the week we could get together to record, and it is past my bedtime.
But we are
Oh dear.
dedicated people, so I thank you for joining me and committing to this recording for at least 30 minutes.
At least. But the next
At
30
least.
minutes will be the buttery smoothest 30 minutes ever.
Ooh, buttery.
Buttery.
I like butter.
Margarine. Goodness.
No margarine. Margarine is unhealthy.
There's a very heated debate of margarine versus butter. It's so heated, it's hilarious.
I honestly don't mind either.
The biggest thing was that I don't mind either. The biggest thing is that people used to think that the fats in butter was unhealthy.
Yeah.
And so margarine was presented as a healthy alternative, but then it turned out
became
the
the
trans
thing.
fats in margarine were actually way more unhealthy than anything found in butter. And so now margarine is basically the domain of people who don't want to use an animal product.
Right. Like growing up in as a kid in my household, it was always margarine for some reason. I don't know if it was necessarily health.
Because it was
I
cheaper.
think it was probably because it was cheaper, but I would also say it's not like we used it a lot. We would usually have a small tub, and that would probably last us a month or 2 months even. It's not like we used it often because we didn't really eat bread because we're an Asian family, so we usually eat rice and things like that. The one really big benefit of butter is that it tastes better, especially when you cook it and it's becomes brown.
Oh, yes.
With that being said, if you're just
yes.
spreading it on your typical wheat product, I don't care that much.
As someone who bakes, I can attest that very poor quality margarine will taste off.
Oh, probably.
If you compare it to a fairly decent margarine, product, something that's not animal fat. But an actual butter will always smell better in the oven.
Butter smell better.
Oh, yeah. And even the differences between different qualities of butter, you can get quite a big difference.
I'll be honest, I did not think we would start this podcast by talking about margarine versus butter, but I'm okay with it because I do.
That's okay.
I would say, I told you, as a kid, I grew up with margarine. Now I don't have margarine. I actually only use butter, but it's because I do a lot more cooking with butter in general. So,
have you ever made clarified butter for cooking
no,
purposes?
only browned. Clarified butter is nice, but I would rather just use a different product like ghee or something.
Yeah, that's what ghee is.
I know, but
butter.
I would just, instead of made it, I'm saying I would buy the product.
Buy it.
Instead.
It's, I really like it because you don't get that problem where it'll smoke if you just put butter in a really hot pan.
I don't mind starting with oil though. That's the thing,
I have made browned butter before, but that was just in the process of making a completely different kind of butter.
I was just about to say browned
What
butter.
did you make?
Browned butter is amazing in baking.
Yeah, it's great for brownies.
Yeah, it's great for
Yeah.
baking.
Fantastic for brownies.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's good for
You
cookies
basically
too.
can't make can of butter without brown butter.
A whole can of butter.
A whole can of butter.
Can't make butter without butter.
How are you guys holding up this last week?
I've been doing good.
Yeah? How's your work schedule been? Because yours has been crazy.
Well, the only issue is that I was covering some vacation shifts a week ago. So normally I'm 4 days on, 4 days off. But last week I was in the middle of night shifts and one guy needed a couple of day shifts covered.
Disgusting.
So I was 4 days on night shifts, 1 day off, which was technically only half a day off because that 1 day off was 8 a.m.
Yeah, because that's the switch shift.
to the end of the day.
And by the way, if anyone's who never
and
worked...
then the next day I was working Days.
If you never worked shift work or any sort of like days to night shifts, you do not switch from nights to days. You switch from days to nights. Asking someone to switch from nights to days and giving them 24 to 48 hours to do it, like you either
difficult.
better be like close workmates or like you owe them something because fuck
That's the
that.
thing.
I
Like,
don't do it.
He has covered multiple vacation days for me doing the exact same thing. So
Ooh.
it's
There
like
you
That's the brotherhood.
I've got to step up for
That's
him.
the brotherhood of
I
shift
gotta
work.
step
Fair
up for him.
trade-offs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I was working 2 days of day shifts, and then I had 1 day off again to get back to night shifts.
Yeesh.
So then 4 night shifts, and then finally I had some days off. And every single one of those days off, I did not sleep properly. It took me all 4 days to readjust my sleep schedule back to days.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Well,
How about you, Nance? How was your week, I guess, so far?
So the night we recorded our Sleepy Edition
Sleepy.
episode last week, I accidentally inhaled some very strong IPA and hydrogen
You
peroxide.
mean you didn't do it on
fumes.
purpose?
I was not feeling well at all.
Yeah.
No, it was because there was mold growing in our compost bin, and I was like, I'm sanitizing the hell out of this. And for the rest of this past week, I've been basically experiencing asthma, something I've never really experienced before.
Oof.
So I have a whole new level of sympathy for anyone who has to go through like seasonal allergies that give them bad asthma,
Right.
or just like general asthma that they have all the time. Newfound respect. Wow. It has been a rough week. I'm back to sounding normal, finally, but apparently for most of this week, I sounded like I was smoking.
Oof.
So I can relate, but not in the way that you got there.
Thank
So-
goodness. I do not want anyone inhaling
No, no.
fumes like that.
I just played a bunch of like games where that required, let's say, intense debate, also known as Among Us, and I played like a few games, like few nights in a row of games like that, and then I like at work, depending on sort of the shift, sometimes we'll have music in the background depending on like my coworker. We will sometimes like sing, and we were like chilling and singing. So I had like a fairly vocal and enthusiastic,
Week.
like few, well, let's say like 4 days.
Were you
right?
singing Spice Girls?
Dude, I was like, I don't know, just a whole bunch of stuff, right? Just to get through the
He was
shift.
deflecting.
Oh, absolutely.
Sounds sus.
Shut up, I saw
Sounds
you
sus.
vent. So basically what happened, I guess people know me as sort of a talkative, loud dude, but like even for me, like, you know, we've all sort of slowed down those sort of interactions, like a lot more typing, a lot more low-key conversation and things like that, because you know, we're staying away from each other and not communicating as much socially and things like that, right? So I hadn't sort of, let's say, opened up the pipes so much in the last few months. And then I got a little bit of a sore throat. It wasn't like major, but then I got like a little dryness in the throat and a little cough, and I was just like, do I have COVID?
Oh my God. That
no,
was me
it's-
all the way back in like March and April. Every time I would get a mildly sore throat, I'd be, do
Yep.
I have COVID? Then I would start
Yep.
feeling a cough coming on,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh no.
And
And then it turned out to
No,
be
no.
nothing. It was just me
I
freaking
like
out about it.
but I would say that I wasn't like, but I was being reasonable because like I have a medical background. I was just like, you know, I don't have any other onset symptoms. And even if I did have them, you have to be like, you gotta play the field. Like I'm like, what have I been doing? I haven't been going out. I haven't done anything. My contact trace overall, I would say, is low, comparatively speaking. And, you know, like I'm a responsible person. I put on a mask, blah, 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 right? So I was like, I think it's really just, I gotta slow down or come back down from yelling or singing and stuff like that. But yeah, there was definitely a I thought
Lengthy
about
debating.
going to get a COVID test. I'm not gonna lie. As recently as like a couple days ago, I was just like, maybe I should do it just to be sure. Like, what if you're asymptomatic or all this other stuff? I was just like, no, I don't think it's that bad. I just have a dry throat, something that I haven't experienced in a while because I haven't, you know, gone full J in the last while.
Yeah.
So that's the. I'm sure a lot of people have that too, because like flu season's coming up. People are gonna get colds. When I was a kid,
man.
literally from like the time I was like 4 up until I was like 16, I would be counted on to get a cold every single winter.
Counted
Yeah,
on?
like it just like I mean, like I would get a cold, and it wasn't like a bad cold. I'd be able to like work through it. I could go to school. I wasn't like coughing on people. I wasn't like, but I absolutely would get a cold every year. And then like as I approached like post puberty, teenage adultness, whatever, it just sort of disappeared. Like I get a cold maybe once every 2 or 3 years, which I think is like an average amount, maybe less than average, but I don't know. Try not to think about it too much.
I often don't get flus. I probably got more colds in the last year than in like the last 6 years, and most of that I think was possibly just due to stress.
Right. Like from moving and all
I feel
that.
like I haven't had a serious illness since I quit retail.
That was the serious illness.
I feel like that's a
that
good
was the
thing.
serious illness. Retail was your
Yeah.
Retail was
Yeah,
the
man.
disease.
Finally cured.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And you didn't even have to inject really weird cleaners into your blood to do it.
Yeah, I didn't have to inject
UV lighting.
bleach or get the UV inside the body.
Yes.
It worked out pretty good.
I wonder if he did that. I don't know who I'm talking about, but I wonder if it happened. Maybe he insisted.
No, the world may never know.
We'll never
Yeah,
know.
exactly. But yeah,
Except we will.
I do wonder what it's going to be like this winter though. Like if people will just sort of freak out about getting a regular cold or flu. Like I'm not even saying freak out in a
I
bad
think
way, but they're
so.
like they'll get in that thought loop, right? They'll be like, did I get it?
They will.
Am I sick? Am I beyond the regular illness?
Ooh.
Yeah, I suspect there will be a lot less asymptomatic testing and a lot more of people who are symptomatic, but it turns out that they didn't have COVID and it was just another
Right?
flu.
Yeah, like now that I think about it, every time I drive past like one of the lab services or something, you can see people lined up outside the door.
Mm-hmm.
Once it starts getting to like -20, people aren't going to line up outside.
No.
If they can't go inside, they're just going to go
No,
home.
they'll just wait in their car.
Yeah, they would wait in their car because they have
Oh,
drive-thrus.
that would be the smart thing to
You're
do.
welcome.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I hope people do that.
Yes.
I hope intelligence
hoped.
prevails.
I hoot.
Hoot.
Yeah.
I
Haute
hoot.
cuisine.
I hoot.
Yeah.
Haute cuisine.
Hoot hoot.
Oh, one of the other reasons, like I was saying, I've been playing games. They're slightly more social. Like I usually stick to single player because I do like the story development, all that stuff. But there's been some multiplayer stuff like Among Us, Monster Hunter World Iceborne just got its last big update, so I've been playing some of that and yelling about.
And
monsters
there's a new
killing me.
Monster Hunter
Yeah.
movie too.
Yes, I don't. Is that?
A
When, I don't know when that
movie.
released. I don't know if it's releasing this year.
I don't know either. The trailer looked like trash.
It's definitely what's the husband's name?
It's a Resident Evil movie with
No, but what's the
monsters instead of
husband's name?
zombies. I don't know.
Because it's Mila. Is it Mila Jovovich?
Mila Jovovich.
Paul W.S. Anderson. That's who it is. Who does the
Wow, you're good at celebrity names. I cannot do
Oh,
that.
I'm not good. I googled it. I wrote monster.
You Googled
Well, I wanted
it.
to know. I wanted to know what the release date was. It came out on September 3rd, so that's a whole month ago now. But
Wow. Behind the ball on
I
that
probably-
one, I
Wait,
guess.
it actually came
Yeah.
out, or the trailer came out?
no,
then?
initial
When was it
release September 3rd, 2020 in Germany.
What?
Oh, in Germany.
Whoa! What?
So not
Hold on.
cross-localized yet?
Hold on. I need to double check something else here. Oh, what? So I'm just looking at the quick Wikipedia information. One of the production companies is Tencent Pictures.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Tencent is the owner of Riot.
Massive Chinese
Yeah.
conglomerate.
And
Yeah.
I just
They
didn't,
also owned at some point WhatsApp.
I didn't know that they had a production side. They're a distributor.
I mean,
either.
why
They're a
not?
film distributor and production company owned by Tencent.
However, I'm not surprised actually. I've been recently watching a lot of YouTube video essays on like movie production, and some of that is about movie production in China. So yeah, Tencent has actually come up. I don't know why I didn't connect.
Oh
those
my
points.
God, Ron Perlman's in this Monster Hunter movie.
Nice.
Ooh,
I'll probably
nice.
watch it because it's one of
Worth
those
seeing.
like it falls into that solid like B movie category that I personally I love B movies. They're like
I love Ron
they're my
Perlman.
they're like my
He
second level.
steals the show in every side character he plays.
Yeah. Yeah,
He's a jewel.
the dude's a gem for sure. But yeah, I will probably watch it. I don't know. It's not going to be a rush, but it'll be fun to watch. What was I going to say? Oh, but I did get a new game as well, which was something I've been looking forward to. Which
And it's not
it's
Cyberpunk?
not Cyberpunk, but it was the game. It was literally
What?
the only other game I was considering buying this year. But I didn't even pre-order it. I was just like, I'll see how it turns out. And that game is Star Wars Squadrons, which is to anyone who's actually like a longtime listener, and I've talked about Star Wars and sort of my desires for Star Wars games. This is the kind of game that I want from Star Wars. I don't care about being a Sith or a Sith or a Jedi. I don't care about being a Darth Vader or a Luke Skywalker. I care about ships that go
No
pew pew
Seths
pew
or
pew pew.
Judies.
So I got a flight simulator, spaceship, war battle dogfighting game, and that's exactly what I wanted.
Nice.
It actually feels so good. There's like this whole
Nice.
like thrust system and the weapon select system, and you can power on you can divert power from engines to shields to weapons and everything like that. It hits all like.
Can
That's
you
fun.
play the Death Star run?
I
Can you fly through the
So
trench?
here's the thing. It's not set at that time. So the answer
Oh.
is not right now. But my expectation is that it probably will let you in future DLC. Like I can definitely see why they would do it because it's very similar.
Quite frankly, if they don't do something like that, that would be stupid.
It's true. I mean, they would
Because-
sell it immediately. That DLC would be like, hell yeah, immediate grab.
Me being just a regular person who likes Star Wars and likes the ships, I want to be the X-wing who shoots down the Death Star.
yeah.
I want to be the asshole turning off his aiming
Yeah, yeah.
computer
And use the Force.
targeting computer, and using
Oh
the
my.
Force to just shoot the missiles into the exhaust port.
Yep. I
I want to be that
I
guy.
haven't finished.
And in every single the N64 game, the GameCube game, Rogue Squadron, so
Those
good.
are that's
So
so
good.
this isn't like a Rogue Squadron game. It's like the TIE Fighter series or the X-Wing series. It's all first person.
Is it like Elite Dangerous but Star Wars skinned?
I don't know what Elite Dangerous is. I haven't played it.
Okay.
Elite Dangerous, says Google. Sure, I guess. It's similar. It's like I said, it's all first person. You're inside the ship. You do the pew pew. There's targeting computers. There's missiles. There's team. I think it's 5v5 dogfights. There is a story campaign that I'm slowly working through because I haven't had a lot of time because I'm working a lot this month. But I'm super looking
Fair.
forward to getting into it.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway,
Hmm.
I finally.
Well, that
I
sounds
have
like
been
fun.
playing a game that is far weebier than that.
Tell me
Uh,
if it has waifus in it.
It does have
If
waifus.
it doesn't have waifus,
It
is
does.
it even weeby?
If it doesn't have waifus, Angela
You,
wouldn't
you
be
can
playing.
have weeb games without waifus. Like,
Explain.
if you watch Akira, there isn't a waifu in that entire 2 hours.
I would argue that Akira is not the best example of something weeby. I would argue that if you
Okay.
like Akira, you can be a
That just means you're
yeah,
cultured.
you can literally be a film enthusiast and like Akira and not be weeby because that's how good Akira is.
I don't know why,
Okay.
but the YouTube algorithm has been just throwing down animation analysis of Akira at me, and I'm like, I watched one of these and it was great. But holy cow, YouTube, you're recommending like 70 hours of like analyzing 12 frames.
Yeah,
of
but
me.
that's
Just
literally like
chill
that's
out.
the exact same like algorithm as like Amazon. You bought a toilet seat there once and it's like this man collects toilet seats.
Yeah, but except that Amazon is really like it doesn't make any sense. If
But
I
yes,
already bought an impact wrench, I don't need a second
This
one.
person
or a fifth one.
collects impact wrenches.
So
Serious.
to roll it back a little bit, we're talking about Genshin Impact, and
Yes.
hell yeah, there's waifus, there's husbandos, they're all freaking adorable. The game itself is absolutely beautiful. It looks like
It's very Breath of the Wild.
it's very much inspired by the Breath of the Wild for the visual style.
Like cell
But
shaded?
the
Even the
character
music.
style themselves
Oh damn!
is
I just saw. Hold on, I'll post it in the Discord.
I feel like the character styles are more like Tales inspired.
I was so yeah.
You
When
get
you
me?
sort of brought it up in the pre-show, I was like, this looks like a MMO version of a Tales game.
And as far as it goes, like when you're playing the game, it feels like an MMO. I didn't really play Breath of the Wild, so I can't
It
really
looks
suggest much against
It's
its,
very much like a refined version of Breath of the Wild.
but like
with
you can
waifus.
glide like you could in Breath of the Wild.
you
You
can
could
glide,
just scale
there's
up
stamina.
cliff faces like Breath of the Wild.
Yep.
Unlike the Tales game where you like go into battles, everything is just on the
Yeah,
overworld.
interesting.
Like I actually,
What is?
I feel like the battle system could be a little bit more polished. I almost feel like I wish it had dodging closer to like what was in Bloodborne or something.
Oh, yeah.
Its dodging mechanics feel
Sorry, what is this
kind
on?
of half baked.
Everything. That's
it's
the
on,
brilliance.
PC, iOS, Android, and
It's on
PS4.
PC.
Yeah. It's actually very, very, very good at being cross-platform because you can play your game on any device. It's your account, so all of the characters you've unlocked are with you. Doesn't matter where you are. I would say that probably the best play experience is probably on PC because having keyboard and mouse just is nice.
Yeah,
Who distributes it on
the-
PC?
So it is by the same company that created the hit mobile game Honkai Impact 3rd.
Sorry, that's not what I meant. I meant like
Yes.
I can't find where I can play it on PC.
Just Google
I
it.
am. What the hell?
Just Google Genshin Impact.
Oh, like you
And the
literally
website
meant
is
go
the
to
thing.
their website, which is, by the way, that's a rarity to be distributed
It is
via their own
true.
first-party website. Like nowadays, it's either you're
True.
on a third-party launch app or something. I like not gonna lie. The first thing I did is
You're on
I went to
Steam.
Switch. I went to Switch. I went to Steam. Because I was just
Well,
like,
that's the thing. So the monetization strategy of this game, the game is completely free.
Oh
You
no!
can download this game. You can just start
Is it
playing.
this? Is it our
most
generation's like
part.
fucking Maple Story?
Well, that's the thing. It's not entirely multiplayer focused.
Oh my
There is a
God.
co-op.
No.
There is a co-op aspect of it later on in the game that you can
Right.
unlock. But for the most part, it is single player. That's where the majority of the content seems to be. And you unlock characters through a gacha
Oh
system.
no!
Yeah. So it's partly a gacha game, although I'm told that late game and end game stuff is not tied in any, like your success isn't tied in any way to things that you
Okay.
unlock either through gacha or for like pay to win.
Right.
So it's kind of a weird mix.
As far as it goes, I wouldn't
good
call
way.
it pay to win yet, but again, I'm
It's not.
fairly early game. The only thing about so far, the only thing you buy, it seems to me, is gacha rolls. So you can unlock characters through that. And the thing is, if you re-roll a duplicate of a character, that allows you to unlock further skills to make your character better. Which is pretty much standard fare for all gacha games. Like if you've played Fate Go or Arknights
I
or
don't
Grand
know
Blue,
anything about gacha games. I don't.
that's pretty standard.
I'm interested enough that
but
I'm
it
looking
is-
at the art and I'm actually browsing through the website. I'll probably not play it, to be totally honest, because I have too much other stuff.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it does look. I can see where the appeal is. Like, it seems recommendable.
Fairly good production value.
Yeah, it looks good.
Now, as far
especially
as
for
it feels
something
like-
that's so cross-platform.
It looks great.
There's a saber clone.
As far as like even voice goes, I actually left the English dub on because it's not awful,
right.
and I don't care about it enough to read subtitles while I'm gaming. Like,
Yeah, that's fair.
Like the
That's
dialogue is to the point where I don't want to have to watch or read subtitles while I'm in the middle of the game. I'll listen to the dialogue, and the English voice cast is actually, for the most part, pretty good. It seems like they mostly had decent direction.
Right.
The characters sound like they're trying. Like,
Trying is good.
yes, well, there's certain characters that seemed like they phoned it in. And then that's the minority of characters, I would say. Most of them just seem good. They fit. They're good. I would still say that Japanese sounds like better if you're a weeb like that.
I mean,
The,
I want to point out
mouth
that this
flaps
is-
actually fit the Japanese voices far
like
better.
I'm doing more and more research just because I'm falling into like a rabbit hole of research that we've talked about before. MiHoYo is actually a Chinese company, so I wonder if the Chinese.
Yes,
I wonder if
they
the
are.
Chinese. I assume they've got some because the Chinese market's huge as well, obviously. I wonder how good the voice acting is in that because that would be considered like first party direction as well.
As far as that goes, I cannot say for certain.
That's fine. No, it looks like it's all the primary voices are Japanese, but that's fine because it's aimed towards the general appeal of like a Japanese style Asian market, anyways.
Absolutely. And all I can say is that, yeah, the production values are actually pretty good. The only thing that I can really complain about is that the regular overworld battle music is kind of low energy. Like, you run up to these slimes or these goblin dudes, and, like, instead of some tense fight music, it's just like, the flute music is moving a little bit faster. And I was going to be like, yeah, all the battle music fucking sucks. Mute the music and turn on your own soundtrack until late yesterday night. Me and some friends in co-op went against this boss battle, which was this huge freaking ice wolf, and it was playing the most blood-pumping, like, good boss music. Like, it was... It set the tone.
Are you playing Nancy?
I am not playing Sean is, so I get to experience it. So here's the funny thing. When I'm doing stuff in Guild Wars 2 and I don't necessarily need Sean to be there, he'll be playing Genshin Impact on his PC next to me, runs Buttery smooth. And then when it's time to go to bed, butter. And then when he's going to bed, and traditionally what we've done is we'll sit in bed and we'll scroll Reddit, we'll do whatever, we'll check our email, just to like wind down for bed. He is now on his iPad playing Genshin Impact.
Oh my god.
So now and then when we're eating, so like this morning, for example, I made omelets. We're sitting there eating, and he's one-handing some stuff in Genshin Impact while he's eating with the other hand. So now he has access to this game on every device that we own.
I hate to tell you something here, but I think your husband's a bit of a nerd, and I would advise you to get a lawyer now.
Nah. He's a nerd and I love him for it.
Have competition. He has waifus, and you are just a waifu. Fear.
Yes,
Make
but
sure that
he's
he
very
doesn't write
happy
them
about
into the
sharing
will.
said waifus.
All right, then.
You don't understand. When you're both weebs, it's fine.
You're right, I don't understand. I try not to do that.
Angelo, educate this man for me.
Yeah, actually, like, I have to accept that Dio will never love me as much as she loves Cloud Strife.
I think that's a really hard mark to surpass.
I don't think that's a hard mark to surpass at all. I think Cloud's a dweeb.
The only thing that I have on top of Cloud is that I'm real.
Disgusting.
Yep. You offer real physical hugs.
Yes.
I mean, Cloud wouldn't hug. He's not a hugger, even.
He really isn't.
Unless you're Aerith and you force hugs on him.
Even then.
Yeah, but then you would die. Spoilers.
Oh no.
Whoa.
Spoiler
Oh god. Oh no.
Huh.
Let's not go down that path.
I can't get gacha games. It's great that honestly it looks like a fun game. Gacha games are not my style of game. It is really impressive that they're released on so many platforms and it's very accessible. I'm always sort of it's funny because like growing up I've always been a gamer. I've always had like handhelds and then some consoles and then now PCs and stuff like that. Like gaming is my vice, if you want to call it that. I wouldn't say that I spend excessively on it because I am a responsible human being and I still do all my chores and pay my bills and have a job, but gaming is my vice in the way that instead of gambling or doing other weird stupid shit, like I'm just at home kind of enjoying myself in a virtual world. It's funny because accessibility is a big thing And I remember growing up, gaming wasn't very accessible. You'd have to go sometimes to a friend's house. That's the friend with the PlayStation. Or that's the friend with the N64, with the multiple controllers and the games. You know what I mean?
Oh my
Right?
god!
And
the
my
Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles was such a good.
I have a friend playing
experience
that
if
right
you
now.
could get 4 people with the freaking Game
Yeah.
Boy extension
Yeah.
cables and the freaking. Oh my god!
Like, and I'm not trying to say
Crystal Chronicles was an experience.
It was an amazing game, but to get the most out of it, you needed like
needed
$1,000
so
of
much.
extra
Right.
hardware.
Yeah, and friends who also had that same
Yeah.
hardware.
And I'm not trying to
God.
sound like old or whatever. Like, I'm not trying to be like, in my day, it was like this. What I am actually trying to get at is that my mom did not understand, like, neither did my dad, really, but, like, my mom especially did not really understand why I played games. Like, she'd be like, yeah, like, it's fun. And I was still, like, a fairly well-rounded kid, too. Like, I would go outside. I used to bike a lot, hiking, and play sports and stuff as well. So it's not like I spent all my time, but she didn't like it when I was sort of on my computer or whatever. But then mobile games became more of a thing, and she doesn't play like a lot, but she definitely got into mobile games circa 2012, let's say. And she would she wasn't playing anything crazy. She wasn't really playing gachas or anything. She would be honestly playing like word games, small puzzle games, even simple like gamblers and stuff, just to like kind of like kill her time and stuff. And it'd be funny because I remember as a kid she'd tell me like, hey, like, you know, get off your Game Boy, we're gonna have dinner. And I remember at a point like recently I was able to tell her like, get off your phone,
we're having dinner.
And she was just playing like a thing, and I just like I laughed a little bit, you know, like just ribbing her for it. But I think it's I
That's an adorable moment.
I've said that I believe that video games are art. I believe that they're a great form of entertainment. I don't care whether you're just playing a poker game or you're playing Final Fantasy VII,
Quasi cupcakes.
right? Like anything that you want to do. I want people to play games because I genuinely find them enjoyable, and I definitely believe there is something out there for everyone's attention span and what they like and everything like that. So I hope people get to share that kind of thing because like that's what our generation is, and the younger generations underneath us are sort of, you know, I think that's more.
And then there's the people who spend $75,000 trying to roll Skahawk.
I don't know what that means.
Oh no.
There was a guy who spent $75,000 trying to roll a character in Fate Go.
Yikes.
Skyhawk?
How?
How do you spell that?
So, Skahawk?
Oh, I don't know what that means.
It is a Scottish name, and it does not get spelled the way it sounds.
I'll just write Fate Go $7,500 because this is the Google edition for me.
75,000.
Oh, 70. Yeah, that's what I wrote. That's what I wrote. It's not what I said.
Okay.
Oh my god. 31-year-old Daigo. Fate Grand Order seems to take up every spare moment. He spent 70 grand. Yeah.
Oh.
How do you spend 70 grand on it? Like, what do you do? Where do you get the money from?
Yeah,
I don't know where he
have
gets the
70
money
grand?
from.
Here's the thing. I'm all like, it's easy. It's fun to be like, I say fun. Like it's a basic human thing to compare people or judge people. It's just a thing, and I try not to do it too often, but I'm still human.
I haven't looked at the exact drop rates for Genshin Impact, but apparently one of the nice things about this game that games like Fate Go does not have, it has a pity system where
What?
every 4 rolls or every 10 rolls, you're guaranteed like a super rare, like a 4-star character or weapon.
Oh, yeah, the Final Fantasy game had
And
that.
every 90 rolls, I think it is, you're guaranteed a 5-star character or weapon. Like, it doesn't matter what it is, as long as you roll that much, you're guaranteed something.
So, I guess what I'm trying to get at is just like, I don't know where the guy gets the money for it. I hope it's not like he's in debt or something. But if that's what the dude
in like heavy credit card
maybe
debt.
he sells drugs.
I'm not saying like, look, here's
For a
the thing.
gacha game?
Well, I mean, the gacha game is a reliance on a.
There are
it's
a
a
lot
reliance
of
on a drug
voice
thing,
actors for Fate Go who just roll their Fate Go voice money back into the game.
Probably, but all I'm saying is that
Oh boy.
if that's what you want to spend your money on, I don't care to tell you how to spend your money. Like, it just doesn't matter. Like, you know what I spent my money on?
As long as you're being financially responsible, cool.
I just
go
bought
for it.
a RGB power supply unit in white that I could only find in Asia, and it's being shipped here from my new computer because I couldn't find it in North America for some reason. Like, it's really difficult. I don't know why. It doesn't really matter.
What company was that? Thermaltake?
Super Flower.
Super Flower.
Yeah, I know.
Super Flower.
But it's actually it's a
Flower.
more common brand in like Taiwan. It's made in Taiwan, so I don't really have a problem with
Oh,
that. But it's just
okay.
like
It has dual voltage input,
Yeah.
right?
it's all good. No,
Okay.
Taiwan
Yeah,
actually
just
uses
in
the exact
case.
same voltage as we do. Like when I was over
Really?
there, literally last summer, like the stuff we brought, we didn't need an adapter. We literally could just plug in. Like I just put my phone charger in and all that stuff. So
Nice.
I don't have any worry about that.
I would still hope that it's dual voltage anyway.
Well, they're not
Just
just
because any modern power
Sorry,
supply
they're not
should
just
be.
a Taiwanese company. They do have other products here. The one product I wanted wasn't available here. But that's what I'm saying. Like this
Yeah,
isn't like
that's
super
fair.
expensive either. It's just like the shipping's going to be more expensive or whatever. But what I'm saying is that's what I'm spending
Wow.
my money on. And some other people would be like, no one needs an RGB power supply of all things. I'm like,
Dio has an RGB
I don't
power
care
supply.
what you think. I am getting one because it's my money and my computer. That's it.
You know, if I wanted to, I could open up
And
my
you
power
have the
supply
money.
and jam an RGB fan in there, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, bro.
What a shame.
This
Opening your power supply is a bad idea. You should not do it unless
not
you know
gonna
what you're doing.
lie. Not gonna lie.
Agree.
I was looking at
Mhm.
buying a white power supply and putting an RGB fan in it. I thought about it briefly, and then I was like, I don't want to go to this extent, and I still really want this.
If I wanted it that much, I would buy the power supply that I wanted,
Exactly.
paint it, or use like two-way adhesive.
But yeah, man.
There's actually like vinyl kits for power supplies, like D brand
Yeah.
stuff. I don't think D brand sells them for power supplies, but like that, just for that sort of thing.
For reskinning purposes, yeah.
Jesus Christ! Even the modular sockets are
That's
RGB.
exactly it, my man.
That's
Wow.
ridiculous.
Now you know.
That is ridiculous.
But it is.
I
It's
love it.
pretty, isn't it? And that's what I wanted.
Is it super flower or super flower?
I think it's Flower because they specialize in making like PSUs and some cooling units.
Yeah, but their logo's a butterfly.
And I also thought
Butterflies
about
like
that too.
flowers.
I know it's a butterfly. I say Flower because I think it's more of a tech thing, but you could say flower, and I don't really care. It doesn't make no difference to me.
Okay.
They make the pretty. They make the
That's
pretty
They
thing.
have official
They
videos
make the pretty thing.
where they.
You know.
They
That's
make the
fine.
pretty thing, and that's
Yeah.
what matters.
No, I don't think there's any videos or tech videos where there are probably some reviewers, but I highly doubt they particularly know.
Oh,
the
it even
pronunciation.
has a 5-volt addressable RGB sync
Yeah,
port.
dude.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's not that that's an 850
Ugh.
watt power unit. I just
Damn.
Okay, that's pretty awesome.
look.
I'm not gonna
I
lie.
searched I searched far and wide on this, and I'm dedicated to my computer build. I made this obvious. So I'm gonna spend my money on this. I'm gonna spend my money on a stupid graphics card. I'm gonna
Are
spend.
you gonna get a 3090 once they're in
I
stock?
already have it on pre-order. It's
Nice.
the EVGA F for the Win 3 model.
Nice.
It's gonna be about $2,600.
What the fuck? Does it have RGB?
Hell yeah.
Hell
The
yeah!
only thing that doesn't have RGB right now, I think, is my stock fans on the case, which can be easily remedied.
Oh, you're gonna throw those out.
Indeed.
Who uses stock fans?
I don't care. I posted on Twitter
Normal
like
people do,
2 weeks
but-
ago. I'm like,
When you're ordering an RGB power supply with a freaking RGB header cable for your
Hell yeah.
motherboard, you're not using the stock
No.
case fans.
I'm an
Mm-mm.
RGB basic bitch, and if someone wants to complain about it, do it on your own time. I don't care.
Like, my PC
You do you.
vomits RGB, and I
Yeah.
love it.
But
You
that's how
do
I.
you.
I used to be vehemently, almost militantly against RGB and lights in your PC in
Right.
general, but now I'm just like, yeah. This
I'm
is
embracing
amazing.
the rainbow, my man. You know. But you
Good
know,
for both
here's
of
the
you.
thing. That's how I waste my money, and gaming is how I waste my time. How do you guys like to wait?
My computer vomits unicorns. And
Yeah,
I
like
love
how
it.
do you guys want to? How do you guys like to waste your time otherwise? Like Nancy, like I know you're also a gamer. I also know you like tabletop and stuff like that. But do you feel guilty about doing that? Because I would really hope not. Because everyone needs the release, right?
So here's the thing. For me, I love the art form, the production value, like the there's always all these little things that you find as you get through
Right.
something, like whether it's a video game or a board game. And they're just these little things, and you can always appreciate that someone thought to put those in.
Mm-hmm.
That's always nice. But I'm also the kind of person who's fairly choosy about what I choose to put my money
Right.
in. So if, let's say, Kickstarter comes up, brand new board game, and it's designed and being executed on by a group that knows what they're doing. I like their track
Right.
record. I've played previous games of
Right.
theirs and I like it. I will still sit there and be like, will I actually play this game? Is this worth
Interesting.
owning? So I'm very, I don't know, choosy, I guess, but also maybe my upbringing made me a bit of a penny pincher. Like we don't have infinite amounts of space. And I don't want to buy something for the sake of buying it and we never get around to playing it. I mean, at least if I bought a game on Steam, I'm not worrying about if I have room to store a physical item.
Man, remember when hard drives were so small you had to worry about downloading a game from Steam?
Oh my, don't even remind me.
I remember.
Remember when we were told that like less than a gigabyte would be more than anyone could ever need?
I remember when one of my friends first hit the terabyte in like storage, and I was like, "What? Who needs a terabyte in storage?"
Wow.
And now
Yeah, I know.
I have
I
1.5,
know.
and I'm like, "Bro, I need more
Mhm.
because games take up too much."
Well, games have gotten significantly bigger too. You got to look at it as like
Oh,
a
for sure.
percentage of either how many games can you fit or like what percentage of your hard drive your game
It's also like a
occupies.
level of user. Like if you are an office worker, your photos, some videos, and mostly your Word documents, it's gonna take up far less than a terabyte.
So I have a 4 terabyte hard drive in my PC.
What the hell?
And I'm only using 1.4 terabytes.
Wait, you have a 4 terabyte
Only.
drive?
Yes.
So,
Jesus.
speaking
I have
of
a 2
that, we've been
terabyte
thinking
drive.
about getting a NAS. And like for a NAS, we would need at least 2 terabytes in it to make it worth
My
it because
NAS
What's a NAS?
has 3 6 terabyte drives. Network attached storage.
fine. If this is going to be a one-upping game, I'm
Well,
going to build a
here's the
NAS
thing.
and it will be bigger than yours.
In the case of my desktop, I got that because the 640 gig
Right.
drive that I was using for storage just wasn't cutting it anymore. And that was a good deal at the time. In the case of my NAS, everything in my NAS except the heat sinks came out of the trash at work.
I see.
Yes. The Franken NAS.
Yes.
I still need What do you do with old computers? I need to figure this out soon because I have not really. I don't know how I don't remember how I got rid of my old computers. I feel like I just threw them away. I don't really want to do that. I don't know if I can sell an old.
Either
gaming
try to
computer.
pawn them off on some pleb, or dump them in the e-waste bin at Staples.
No, this computer is.
Yeah, there's
this
that
This
too.
computer is still a good computer, but I don't need it, and I'm not going to use it. There's no other thing that.
If you have a friend who
I mean, I
only
will.
has like
I
a weak
already
laptop,
told you. I already told you I'd take it off your hands if you needed someone to take it.
I know, and if you are still interested, we'll talk about it. But I was like, I meant in general because
We will.
what about future computers? You know, like because the difference is
Like
I'm always
my,
going to be building computers. That's the thing. I'm not going to buy like a prefab laptop anytime soon. You know what I mean? Like those are things that you can resell. I think fairly easily or like upon. But when you build a gaming computer, it's sort of a personal thing. It's a little different.
when the
It's your
last time
child.
that I had a PC that I just legitimately did not need, had no use
Yeah.
for, was 2017, I think it was, and that had my i5 2500K
Wow.
and my AMD R7 270 or 2700X. No, 2 270X.
Yes, it's a 270.
So even at the time, it wasn't fantastic, but it was still competent.
It was competent.
I was offering it to give it away,
Mm-hmm.
and the first person I asked was some artist on Twitter who I'd been following since legitimately like 2005, 2006. And in 2017, he was using a failing laptop that was 10 years old running Vista still.
Oof.
And I just direct messaged him and was like, dude, I have this desktop. It's in perfect order. Basically, you just have to supply yourself a keyboard, a mouse, and a monitor, and you're done. I can mail this today if you want.
Did they pay for shipping at least?
He didn't fucking want it.
Wow.
Beggars.
3 years later, he's still using that Vista laptop from 2000.
Beggars be choosing.
Yikes.
Here's the thing. It was completely unprovoked. Like, he didn't ask for anything. Right. I was just like, dude, you're still fucking using this shit. Please. Please, I have this computer and it's good. Just use it. So eventually, one of my good friends, a local guy here actually, legendary cosplayer, Ozzy J. Lee, he was streaming on Twitch from his MacBook Air at like 240p.
Amazing.
Yikes.
And so I was just like, Austin, what the hell are you doing? Austin, please.
Have some respect.
So me and Dio grabbed this desktop, and I grabbed my old microphone, and we drove over to his house, and we're like, Austin, here's a fucking desktop. Stop using your MacBook for fucking Twitch streams.
Mm.
And so he still uses that, to my understanding.
That
was 3 years ago.
So I'm the same way. I hate throwing things out, especially if I just want someone who needs it.
Yes.
Like, I just want to give it to them, but I don't want to throw it out. I may not necessarily want to just donate it, because usually if they can't find someone, then they'll toss it to you anyway. So it's just... I just, like, so I've been going through, like, my closet, and I'm just like, here are things that I don't wear. They are perfectly fine. They've been washed a number of times, but they don't look worn. I just want to give them to someone. Just someone. Anyone who will enjoy these beautiful, like, graphic tees that I have. Right. I just don't wear them anymore. Same with jeans. It's like, these jeans are in perfectly good condition. I have worn these once. I just want to give them to someone that they will fit.
In a case like clothing, while clothing taste is fairly personal, I donate my old clothes straight up. Like, there's no reason to try and sell them. I don't think there's a lot of, resale value anyways.
I wear things until they're rags.
I don't even want to sell these. I just want to give them to someone, knowing that it's going to someone who will appreciate them.
Do you have anything against, like, Value Village or Goodwill or something?
No, I was told that they just weren't taking donations because of COVID.
That's totally fair, but I mean, like, in normal scenario where, like, things are available, like, you would do that? Because I donate to, I think it's like a diabetes foundation or something like that. They take clothing as well, and it's just like, I don't know, like, my clothing, I don't wear to shreds, and I don't give away anything with holes or missing buttons or anything anyways. Like, I wouldn't say like they're amazing condition, but they're also, like, in very wearable, if not, used from a guy who has worn it for 3 years condition. Because I also don't have superfluous clothing. The only reason I really buy new clothes is it's either something that I really like worn down, or I'm just trying to change evolve my style. Like, I'm trying to get away from t-shirts, so I'm donating more t-shirts.
Yeah, same.
I'm trying to get away from this or that.
Yeah, no, right? I used to donate a lot of my clothes to the Women in Need Society.
I still have,
and that's usually a really good place to, because they're like, often women are also looking for things for their kids, and I'm very small, so that means that if my stuff doesn't fit them, that they might still fit, like, their daughters or nieces, which is great. And, like, giving them items that are of very good use, also good. But, like, no one's taking donations right now because of COVID, like, so I can't donate things anymore.
That'll
hopefully.
No, it'll change because two things. Really one thing. Holiday season is coming soon. So, like, there's gonna be, like, donation drives for clothing. I just expect there to be. I know that COVID is a thing, but guess what? A lot of those places also have washing machines. I'm just saying. So if they want to roll it through, I think it's I think it's still going to happen. On that note, before we're kind of reaching the tail end here, but I was going to ask real quick because it's actually coming up pretty quickly here in about a week and a half. What are you guys going to do for Thanksgiving?
I have no fucking clue. I'm actually working Thanksgiving.
I might have Thanksgiving off. I don't actually remember.
I actually looked this up. I'm working basically every holiday for the rest of the year.
For the rest of your life.
Boo.
I actually have Thanksgiving
Boo,
off.
man.
Like Thanksgiving proper off. But I'm working most of that week and that weekend otherwise, other than the literal Monday that it's on. So I don't know what I'm going to do for it.
I think
I
I'm
don't
working.
have specific plans.
I can't remember if it's a day shift or a night shift. I'm working Thanksgiving.
Ooh.
On Dio's birthday,
Right.
the night of her birthday, I'm going in for a night shift.
No.
Oh, no.
Halloween. I think Halloween I have off, but that's not technically a holiday. My birthday I'm working.
Right.
New Year's Eve I'm working. I get off at 8 a.m. on Christmas.
But do you make
Wait, did I
sweet
say New Year's Eve? I meant Christmas
do you
Eve.
make
Christmas Eve
sweet
I'm working.
holiday dosh? Okay.
Oh hell yeah.
Because I make
Absolutely.
sweet holiday dosh, so I really don't mind. But
And then New Year's Eve
I've
I'm
said this
working.
before.
Feels bad, man.
I'm a little upset about like how things are and like Thanksgiving. Like people are well, what about Christmas or Halloween? And it's like I love those things too. Well, Christmas to a much less extent actually, but Thanksgiving I really like because to me Thanksgiving is everything Christmas should be, which is literally
Agreed.
food, friends,
No gifts,
some
just food.
family, no gifts, no
Yeah.
drama. Like there's some drama, I'm sure, because your family is, full of drama queens. But like, your respective families have drama queen bullshit. I'm sure it just happens, right? But on the whole, it's just much less marketing, a lot less crap. Just it's understood to be a generous, generally happy time. And we are now reaching that point in the year where we're hitting the holidays, and we've said this before, and that stuff's gonna sort of go out the window for a lot of people. So I'm a little sad. I don't know what I'm expecting for Thanksgiving. In previous years, it'd be my parents, my mom's, sometimes my friends' places, stuff like that, And we're really and now we're seeing a point where we're not gonna get those. So.
Honestly, if there was a year to be scheduled for every single
This is
holiday,
it. Make
This
your
is
cash.
Yeah,
Make
I
your
was just
cash
thinking
now.
that.
Anyway,
Well-
that's depressing. And that's how I'm gonna
Aw.
end it.
Don't be like that.
ending it on a sad note, bullshit.
Jesus.
No, Jesus, this is the wrong holiday.
I think
Jesus
I'm
is not
still gonna
involved.
get to. Yeah, sorry, that's Easter. No, I'm definitely gonna go and make time to visit my parents and bake them something, and I'll probably visit you in Bayfar and bake you something. It
didn't
won't be a
bring me
long
any
visit, but I'll bring you
watermelon.
something. No, I brought scones,
Scone?
and we kind of, sort of, yeah.
How dare. All right. I see how it is. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy
Yay.
Thanksgiving.
Happy holidays.
That's
We'll
next-
see you
that's,
all next week.
Yeah, I guess that's coming soon. Anyway, try not to be too depressed. Be happy for what you have, which is working set of lungs.
The whole point. The whole point of
Yeah, exactly.
Thanksgiving.
And I hope people get to celebrate. I really do. Just chill and a little bit.
I do too.
Even me, who's working a lot, I'm gonna try and find some time to chill and hang out. Just do what we can. Until next time, I'm Jay.
I'm Angelo.